Illinois Senator Dick Durbin just announced that he will hold a hearing next week on the rash of new voter ID laws sweeping the country. South Carolina's new voter identification law is on hold because the Justice Department wants evidence showing that it will not hurt voters. The law requires all voters to show a government-issued photo ID before voting. Groups like the NAACP objected to the law, saying it would disenfranchise minority and elderly citizens. South Carolina's law isn't the only voter ID law coming under scrutiny. According to a report in the recent issue of Rolling Stone magazine, at least a dozen states have approved laws that the magazine is calling, quote, obstacles to voting. Kansas and Alabama now require proof of citizenship. Florida and Texas added strict requirements for groups that organize voter registration drives, and 5 states shortened early voting periods. Ari Berman is a contributing writer to Rolling Stone. His article, The GOP War on Voting, is in the latest issue. He's also the author of Herding Donkeys. He joins us now via Skype. Ari, thanks so much for your time.
Hey, Veronica, thanks for having me. Greetings from Iowa.
Hi, nice to see you. So explain to us what you unearthed in your findings. I mean, you're talking about voting obstacles here. What were some of the worst ones?
Absolutely. Well, since the 2010 election, 38 states, mostly controlled by Republicans, have introduced legislation to make it more difficult for people to vote. A dozen states have passed these laws. This includes making it more difficult to register to vote, making it more difficult for groups to register people to vote, cutting back on early voting, requiring photo IDs, state-issued photo IDs that a large percentage of U.S. citizens don't have, and preventing ex-felons who have served their time from voting. I mean, those are the 4 main ways since the 2010 election that Republican officials have made it much more difficult for voters, primarily Democratic-leaning voters, to vote in the 2012 election. You
know, many of these claims, these laws that we were just talking about a second ago, Ari, they say that they're fighting widespread voter fraud. How bad is voter fraud in this country? How big of a problem is it?
Well, in-person voter impersonation, which is what these laws are designed to stop, doesn't really exist. I mean, that's the ridiculous thing about this entire discussion. The Brennan Center for Justice found that a voter is more likely to be hit by lightning than they are to impersonate another voter at the polls. So it's really a phantom menace. It's a draconian solution to a problem that is not a big deal. There are much bigger problems in American elections, namely the amount of people that don't vote, and these laws are going to make that problem a lot worse.
They're more likely to be hit by lightning. All right, so the Justice Department is investigating South Carolina's law in the meantime. Have there been any other legal challenges, Ari?
There's been a number of legal challenges. The Justice Department has to look at all the different states that are subject to the Voting Rights Act, which are most of the states down south and counties down south as well. A number of groups are filing lawsuits. There's lawsuits in Florida. There's lawsuits in Missouri. There's lawsuits in Wisconsin. There will be more lawsuits, most likely, coming down the pike. So this is a hot issue that is only going to get bigger as we get closer to the 2012 election.
Yeah, hot issue. Big problem throughout the primaries also, like you were just saying, leading up to the election. Ari Berman, nice to see you. Looking pretty good on Skype, my friend.
Thank you. Glad it worked out.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. Thank you so much for watching.